Welcome to Compassionate Conversations. The goal of our podcast is to explore topics related to serious illness. Ancora Compassionate Care exists to be a supportive presence for life's journey. We can provide care and support wherever a patient may be on their journey with a serious illness. Ancora Compassionate Care began as Hospice of Rockingham County in 1987. While our name changed in late 2023, we are still the local provider the community has always known. We'll always be there because we've always been here. Welcome to this edition of Compassionate Conversations. My name is Lynn Flanagan and I'm the CEO at Ancora Compassionate Care. We've got some fantastic news to share with you today, but before we dig in, I want to introduce you to some of my wonderful teammates and have them share a little bit about themselves. So, Teressa, we'll start with you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Teressa Towns. I am the Director of Human Resources at Ancora Compassionate Care. I've been with the organization almost 25 years.
Awesome. Thank you. Jeanne?
Hello, my name is Jeanne Slayton and I am the Growth Team Leader and a Hospice Care Consultant. And I have been with Ancora Compassionate Care 5 years now.
All right, Flavel.
Hi everyone, my name is Flavel Collins and I'm Director of Marketing for Ancora Compassionate Care, and I have been here for a little over 30 years.
Wow, okay. So each one of you have been a guest on Compassionate Conversations individually before, but people might be wondering, it is a wonderful group, but think about this just for a minute. So we've got Human Resources, we've got the Growth Team Leader, so sales, if we want, and we've got marketing. A little bit of an unusual group to come together. But let me share our wonderful news and then we'll start connecting the dots just a little bit. So Ancora Compassionate Care has been named number 10 best places to work in healthcare in the country, which is fantastic. Mm-hmm. But even more so, we have landed on this list by Modern Healthcare for 3 consecutive years in a row. So we wanted to come together and talk about how does this benefit the community. Obviously, if you think about best places to work, that implies employees. So as the Director of Human Resources, though, give us a little bit of background about best places to work, why we ever thought about that to begin with.
Okay, so Modern Healthcare in partnership with Workforce Resource Group recognizes outstanding, I'll use that word, employees annually. And it is a 2-part process. So the first part of the application is 20% of our total score, and this is an employer questionnaire. So it looks at everything from our benefits to our pay practices to our turnover rate, and generally just how we take care of our employees. So the second part of the application is an employee survey that captures employee experience. So 3 years ago, when we heard about this process and this award, we decided we wanted to try it.
Yep.
So, in talking about being a best place to work, well, we can at least go through the process, see what it's about, see what we can learn from it. So 3 years later, we've landed on this list. First year, number 10, second year, number 33, and here we are again at number 10. That must be the magic number.
It must be.
It's just been, for us, a great process of learning from our employees. And taking that feedback and using it to improve our benefits, and just allow our employees to be heard, basically. So,
well, thank you for that. And we did start off just what can we learn, and I think that word is key as an employer. That there's no way for us to know everything. So some of the positive feedback that I have heard as people participate in this survey is, it is one more way to be heard. Hey, Ancora Compassionate Care as an employer doesn't just treat me as a number. I'm not just another employee. I actually can have some say-so, have a positive impact on the organization. So when you think about our organizational culture, is that some of the same positive feedback you have heard or anything else you would share?
Absolutely. And, people don't always think of us as employees, as leaders, but we're employees as well.
That's right.
So, we're all able to benefit from the great, because we participate in the survey just like everybody else.
Right.
So we're able to use our voice as well. So the feedback has been pretty amazing, actually. So, yeah.
And then being able to show all employees how we use their feedback. So it winds up in places like our operational plan for the next year. So it helps us set goals. It, the feedback helps you say, or see rather, here's where we're doing well, here's where we've got some opportunity to improve. But overall, what I'm hearing you say is that the whole purpose of this Best Places to Work survey is to really showcase how well cared for, how supported, encouraged, celebrated our employees are.
Absolutely.
And another point that I would make that some folks may not realize is how much growth we have had in the 3 years of doing this. So to land on the list while you literally double your staff size is pretty incredible. So.
And what we've been told is that it's harder and harder each year to get on
Stay
the
on
list
that
again.
list.
Yeah.
So again, back to your point, being in the top 10, that must be where we're meant to be.
Yep.
Okay. Absolutely. So I'm going to jump over you, Jeanne, just for a second, and I'm going to come back to our sales, and we'll talk about our patients and the community we serve in a minute. But from a marketing standpoint, what does this mean for us, for Ancora, to be on this list?
Well, I think it means a tremendous amount, and from a couple of different aspects, if you will. I was thinking our anniversary or our birthday month for Hospice Rockingham County, now Ancora Compassionate Care, is November. Mm-hmm. We were formed through a grassroots effort for a couple of years of work before we admitted the first patient in November, 37 years ago. And as a nonprofit, I think folks look at, are we good stewards of the resources that we have? Mm. And we, as a nonprofit, we do emphasize people over profits, not just with our patients and families, but obviously with our fellow employees as well. And let's face it, one of the greatest resources we have as an agency are the 100 and some people we have on staff.
Amen.
Absolutely.
So I think folks would see Best Places to Work first year, second year, third year, and think they're really taking care of their resources. They're really taking care of their staff members, mm-hmm. and staying true to their roots. I also think, again, third year on, the first 2 years, we were Hospice of Rockingham County. Mm-hmm. And about a year ago, on the 15th of November actually, we rebranded as Ancora Compassionate Care. And one thing that we have continued to emphasize over this past year is this was simply a renaming. This was simply a rebranding. There was no buyout. There was no merger. And hopefully that offers some continuity. They say, oh, well, Hospice Rockingham County, Ancora Compassionate Care, third year in, I hope that connects the dots for some folks to see that we are still the same organization and still the same people. And thirdly, I think for the general consumer, the healthcare consumer, if you don't really know anything about Ancora Compassionate Care and you need hospice care, serious illness care, whatever you might need, and you're researching and you're shopping around, if you will, and as healthcare consumers, that's something we should all do. Right. I think, again, seeing that best places to work designation, in my mind, if a place is taking great care of its staff members, it would lead me to think that they're engaged, they're well taken care of, and the better engaged they are, the better care they're going to give patients and families.
Right.
So just from a consumer standpoint.
Absolutely. So, perfect segue. So now, I think you can see how we are connecting these dots. So we've got our people, and then it's our people, and it's name recognition, and it's our branding. But something that Flavel just said, that we're all healthcare consumers, right? And so we've all got choices. And if we are smart about our own healthcare, we do shop around for the best of the best. Where am I going to get my needs met? Where am I going to be best supported? And so that's a large part of your role, is certainly building relationships with referral sources. So how does the Best Places to Work, what does that do for referrals? Why would they care? Why would our referral partners be interested in that, or anybody seeking our care?
I actually think there's two reasons, and one makes a whole lot of sense, and the other one some folks might not think about. But, making Modern Healthcare's Best Places to Work for the third year in a row and gaining every year, which is also very difficult, is a fantastic thing, because we are providing exceptional individualized care for our staff, which is what we do for our patients as well. In our hospice line of business, in our serious illness line of business, and now in our counseling line of business, all of our services are designed to help support the family and the patient, period, end of sentence. And we can do that because we do that on a daily basis with our staff, with 4 different generations, with now, over 100 staff members, which is a huge amount of growth since I started just 5 years ago. So that's fantastic to me. That should be a big thing for anybody who is looking for care. And for our providers then, and our community partners that are looking for support for their patients, or support for caregivers that are taking care of folks, or whatever it is, being able to see that we are the best places to work. One, yes, that individualized, supportive care. But 2, we have some experience now asking sometimes difficult questions, asking, how can we better support you? What do you need? Is it tech? Is it personal? What is it? Being able to ask those questions and then take those answers and turn it around into specific things that actually do help support the people that are asking for it means that when I go to a provider's office or a community agency and say, how can I be a better partner for you? How can Ancora Compassionate Care better help you support the folks that you are supporting? I really want to hear how we can do that, right? We have obviously not perfected, because I think that we always are in growing and learning mode. But we have learned a lot about how to ask the questions and then how to get that information and really truly listen and make a positive impact. So I can say, if you tell me what you need, I will do everything in my power to be able to supply that support for you.
And when you think about folks that refer their patients for our care, and again, something that still is a little bit new for us as we have grown, not just employee-wise, but we are constantly diversifying our service lines, right? And you just made a point, but I just want to make sure that folks don't miss that point. So we started off 37 years ago as Hospice of Rockingham County. Flavel mentioned the name change a year ago, November 15th, change in name only. But the main reason we did that is because we were diversifying our service lines. So it's no longer just hospice. We have hospice at home. Of course, we have Gibson House, which is our inpatient hospice unit. But now we have a serious illness clinic and have just now opened our own counseling center. So there are so many different types of needs that we can meet throughout the community. And I think that you just made that point perfectly. So there's so many ways we can find out what matters to you, because it depends on what that particular patient or family needs. Which service line are we going to offer? Where can we get you the most help and the quickest, right? So talk to me a little bit about, there's some research out there, and this touches on HR, touches on sales, but why would we even care about a high employee engagement score? So that lends itself to what?
You want to start?
Well, for me, employees who are committed to their organization, to their mission, to
Yes.
the goals of that organization, you're going to see them be more productive. Engagement is not about how happy we are, right? So to me, all of that, it's kind of like that trickle down effect. If we have employees who are dedicated to what we do, we started out as just hospice. That's the most of what I've known working here, and it's amazing that we're branching out into other service areas. But when we talk about hospice and taking care of folks who are at the end of their life, in every interview I talk about the fact that hospice is amazing work, but it's also hard work. So being able to take care of people who are taking care of people at that point in their lives, it's strategic, but it's also what we should do.
That's right.
Right? For our folks. So then you'll see those folks, as they're taking care of themselves, being able to give better care to our families and to our patients.
That's right. Yeah. Well, and if you think
100%.
about it, excuse me for jumping in, but our mission is to be a supportive presence for life's journey. We don't qualify that to say for our patients and families.
Right.
Absolutely.
So it's an opportunity to be a supportive presence for life's journey.
For everybody.
For everybody. And being very intentional with that. I think that's one of the greatest things. Now that we do more than just hospice, right? Our services can be very intentionally crafted for the support that you need, where you need it, when you need it the most. And they can change, right? Just like when we come into work, we may need this day, but need this the next day, kind of a thing. And having all of those supports in one place means that everybody feels supported. Employee engagement, to me, also means that our high employee engagement with our staff means that they're always in learning mode, growing mode. And that's important for employees to feel satisfied and all of that, but that's actually important for our employees to be in that frame of mind when they go and see our patients or their families or the caregivers or whomever it is that they're interacting with, because they're learning, they're listening, trying to figure out what they need and how they need it and how we can make that happen for them. So having actively engaged employees still delivers better care, because then they're actively engaged out with their patients and the families and the other people that we support out in the community.
Right. So we've shared our mission throughout this, but we've also touched on some of what our organizational values are. But something that keeps coming back in my head listening to all three of you is that we do the things we do mainly because it's the right thing to do. And that's what guides us every day that all of us come to work. And I think staying in learning mode, that's one thing to say that, But then to have landed on this list for 3 years in a row, because we've learned something different every single year. We've seen the benefits of being intentional. Let's try this, let's support. But then we've learned from all of our employees. You mentioned the 4 generations. That is something that is also beneficial, I think, for our community, because as we're learning, as we are all growing, so you've got professional growth here, development rather, personal development that is paramount. So we're all learning every day. How do you communicate with all these 4 different generations? How do we work well together? Which means when we step out into the community, it's all ages, it's all people. So that inclusion inside translates to the outside, and that's going to be the highest quality care that we can offer.
It better equips and positions us to meet each and every patient where they are.
Yep.
And I think as human beings, that's something we all want. So I think that's important.
That's kind of an awesome way to wrap that up. Anything that we didn't touch on that we should let the community know?
I think we covered it.
You think we hit it?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate you all being with me today and sharing your expertise, and as we've helped connect the dots from human resources to sales to marketing. But bottom line, all of that translates into what a privilege it is to serve this community and how well we do just that. Right?
Absolutely.
So we are grateful to be number 10 best places to work in healthcare in the country. We're even more grateful that we have landed on this list for 3 consecutive years. It's great news for Ancora, but it's greater news, in our opinion, for the community. You've heard today that our mission is to be a supportive presence for life's journey. So if you or anyone you care about could benefit from any of our specialized care that we offer, you can rest assured that since our employees are well cared for, well supported, they are fully equipped to provide the highest quality care that you might need. If you want any more information or you would like to make a referral to any of the service lines that Ancora Compassionate Care offers, please call 336-427-9022.